Namaste, my RPP topic is Bitcoin. In this presentation, I will explain how Bitcoin works and how you can earn Bitcoin. Now, what exactly is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is an online currency just like we have dollars and rupees. It is an encrypted file which contains all the information and balances of the user on its network. Bitcoin network is just like a ledger account. It stores balances of different users on its network. Now, these numbers do not represent anything in the real world. They are just values for which a person is ready to exchange goods and services, thinking that others will do the same, just like we do with dollars and rupees. Now, one main feature of Bitcoin system is that the accounts are maintained by all the computers on the network, unlike a central bank system where the accounts are maintained in a single place or a computer. Now, this creates a problem. In a central bank system, you only have access to your account information, whereas in a Bitcoin system, you have access to information of all the users on the network. Now, this creates a situation of mistrust. But to tackle this problem, Bitcoin system has complex mathematical problems and algorithms so that the data and the information cannot be manipulated or changed. Now, how does the transaction take place in the Bitcoin system? Now let's take a simple example of Eve paying Bob 5 bitcoins for providing his services to Eve. When the transaction takes place, Eve will transmit a message saying that I have paid Bob 5 bitcoins, and ledger on every computer on the system will get updated by deducting 5 bitcoins from Eve's account and adding 5 bitcoins to Bob's account. So, how does a person verify that the transaction message received by him or her is authenticate or not? Now, Bitcoin system has created a complex method to overcome this problem. Now, every member on the system gets a private key and a account number. Now, every time a transaction takes place, a signature is created or generated with the help of private key and a transaction message. And when you receive the transaction message and the signature, you can verify the signature with the help of the transaction message and the account number mentioned in it. Now, this signature cannot be repeated in another transaction as the transaction message which creates the signature is different for every transaction. There is one more problem created in Bitcoin system. The transaction message which you receive does not state the time of its generation, so a person can easily create a situation of double spending. Let us understand the problem of double spending through a simple example of a bank. Alice has $100 in his bank account. He pays two checks of $100 each to Bob and Dave. Now suppose if Bob reaches first to the bank, he encashes his check and goes away. And later, Dave goes to the bank and tries to encash his check, but it is not encashed and it bounces as there is no balance left in Alice's account. Now, in Bitcoin system, as discussed earlier, the accounts are maintained by all the computers on the network. So, Alice can take advantage of this situation and can transmit two messages at the same time, one stating that Bob he pays Bob 100 bitcoins, another stating that he pays Dave 100 bitcoins. So, after the world will update its account by deducting 100 bitcoins from Alice's account and adding it to Bob, and another half will update its account as deducting 100 bitcoins from Alice and adding it to Dave's. This problem of double spending is easily solved by a method of transaction chain which Bitcoin uses. Whenever there is a new transaction, it is sent to a list of new or pending transaction, and the user's computer is given a problem to solve. Whoever solves the problem first gets to put his transaction next into the chain. So, what exactly is the problem? A problem is nothing but a cryptographic hash function. In simple words, it gives you a particular output for every particular input that you give. For example, if you input 5, it will give you 43. If you input 300, it will give you 685. But one main feature is that it is irreversible. That is, if you input 43, it won't give you back answer as 5. So, Bitcoin gives a particular output to the user's computer, and his computer needs to find out what is the input for that, and for that, it needs to try different inputs repeatedly. It's like guessing your phone's password with unlimited tries. Now, what if two or three computers solve the problem at the same time? In such situation, Bitcoin system creates branches, in this case green, blue and pink. Then these branches are again given a problem to solve. For example, suppose blue solves the next problem faster. So in such case, green and pink transaction will be cancelled and sent back to the new or pending transaction list. Bitcoin system has a unique method of maintaining its accounts. It does not store any balances. It stores transaction instead of balances. So let us see how a person gets to know that how much money he has in his account. Let me explain the accounting system with the help of a transaction. The transaction is Alice paying Bob 5 bitcoins. Now, to verify that Alice has 5 bitcoins or not, the system will go through the past transactions of Alice, seeing that what he had received from others. In this case, he had received 2 bitcoins from Fred and 3 bitcoins from Charles, adding up to 5. So, it is verified that Alice has 5 bitcoins to spend. Now, if this goes on, then for every transaction, Bitcoin system needs to go back to the first ever transaction that took place. This will consume time, so transaction can be delayed. So how to solve this problem again? Bitcoin system has created a simple method to solve this problem. That is marking of transaction as unspent and spent. Whenever a transaction is used, in this case, Fred paying to Alice and Charles paying to Alice, they are marked as spent. And if supposingly there was a third transaction in this that was X to Alice of 5 Bitcoin, then it will be marked as unspent, and only unspent transaction will be checked by Bitcoin system whenever Alice makes a transaction. So, how can you earn these Bitcoins? That's the main question. The process of earning Bitcoin is known as Bitcoin mining. Now, you don't have to literally go somewhere and mine a place to earn Bitcoins as shown in the picture, but it is named as such. For earning Bitcoin, there are mainly two softwares required. One is Bitcoin Wallet, which will store your transaction list and all, and another is Bitcoin Miner, which will solve problems through which you can earn money. Now, synchronization between these two software is a pretty complex one, but I will explain you in the brief. Whenever you create a Bitcoin wallet account, you get an account number or an address which you need to input in your Bitcoin miner so that whenever you get paid for mining, it is transferred to your account. Calculating your profits. Now, this is an example that I did on my laptop so as to check that how much could I earn through Bitcoins. Hash rate is the speed of your computer solving the algorithms or mathematical problems given by the Bitcoin network. The power cost is 0.29 in my area. The electricity consumed by my laptop is 280 watts. And the exchange rate is 246 as per right now. And hardware cost is 0 as I have not specially bought any hardware for Bitcoin mining. So let's see the results. In monthly, I lose $54.4 and annually I lose $661.89. That will end up to 3,330 rupees per month and 40,835 rupees per year. So, how exactly can I earn this Bitcoin? For that, you need to increase your hash rate to earn more Bitcoins through mining. This is a list of few graphic cards which are available in market so to increase your hash rate. Let's assume that you are ready to invest any amount of money for Bitcoin mining. Let's take the highest processor, which provides a hash rate of 25,200 gigahashes per second. So now let's see the results. Hash rate now becoming 25,200. Power consumed by my laptop plus the graphic card ends up to 1500 watts. Power cost 0, 0.2 remaining the same. Exchange rate remaining the same, and hardware cost is $15,295, which I spent to buy the graphic card. Now let's see the results. If I do mining at this rate, I can earn $2,058 monthly and $25,048 annually. That will end up to 1,27,000 rupees annual monthly and 15,45,000 annually. This is with the assumption that you are ready to invest 9,30,000 rupees in the initial stage for buying the graphic card. So, why to earn Bitcoin? That's the main question. Why to use Bitcoin rather than using dollars or rupees? For example, there was a recent offer given by Sony, who recently had introduced its PlayStation 4 in the market. It costed nearly around 40,000, but they had offered that if you buy PlayStation 4 from Bitcoins, then it will cost you 20,000. This is just one example. There are many such examples in the market. Other than discounts in buying, you can also use as a stock. In 2012, the Bitcoin prices had went up to 75,000, which at initial stages were only 800 rupees per Bitcoin. These two personalities are Winklevoss brothers. Now they are Bitcoin billionaires because they own 1% of all the Bitcoins in circulation. Now 1% seem to be less, but it will end up to 5.2 billion Bitcoins. So they are not just billionaires in dollars or rupees, but they are billionaires in Bitcoin. Thank you.